Good afternoon, Flosstube. My name is Mandy. Welcome to my channel all about cross stitch. My pronouns are she, her, and today is Friday, August 8th, 2025, and it is World Cross Stitch Day. So what better way to celebrate than to share what I've been working on the last few weeks. In honor of that, I am wearing my It's a Good Day to Stitch. P.S. Every day is a good day to stitch. I did have a couple of non-stitching days the past couple weeks though, but things, life, just, yeah. Yeah, it's, like I said, it's been a few weeks since I filmed last. I'm trying to get onto a good every other week schedule, but last week I had a busy weekend that I actually wasn't even home very much for. So I didn't even want to try to attempt squeezing anything in, and to be fair, up until then I really didn't have a whole lot of different stuff to share. I would have had like 3 projects to share and we would have been done. So I figured, let's give it another week or so and see what we've got collected by then, and we've got some stuff. One of the Facebook groups that I'm in, it is currently a closed group. They'll open, I don't know, sometime in November, I think it is. Whip Warriors. They've got a challenge going on right now of Arbitrary August, where prior to the beginning of the month, we had to set out a list, one for every day, a prompt of some sort. Whether it was something for a specific project, whether it was, you know, stitch with the color blue, stitch with DMC 310, you know, whatever. So I had to come up with 31 different items to do. They're drawing a number every day. Whatever number, you know, 1 through 31 comes up, you stitch on that prompt. So I'm trying to repeat projects. I've definitely got enough projects that I could do unique, but there's definitely some projects that I want to get more than, you know, just 100 stitches or so on. So we're trying to see if and when. So the thing is too, is all of my prompts, I did not like pigeonhole them to refer to just one specific project. So like day 1 was rainbow colors, so project with rainbow colors. Well, I've got Twisted Band Sampler, I've got Stitch for Pride, patchwork. So like whatever the mood fit that day, that was because it was pulled this past week. You know, stitch on a project with rainbow, there you go, whatever. And I'll be honest, there's been a few days that I picked something that was already on the Q-snap just so save the ease of having to, you know, figure out moving things around. So so we definitely have quite a handful of projects to share for that reason, so I'm excited. First of all though, I gotta finish. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen it already. I did share about it in Stitches gets to go crazy now. Come here, Stitches. She had dinner, and you know what comes shortly after going dinner, so now she's got the zoomies from, there she goes. If you're new here, welcome. We have a black cat. Her name is, it's me. I have a black cat. Her name is Stitches. Very aptly named. And she's crazy. She's a goofball. I love her to pieces. Where were we? Anyways, I have a finish. This has been long in coming. It's not even my oldest whip, but it was one that for some reason I love the project. I love the design. I love the sentiment of the saying on it. I just wasn't getting it finished for some reason. We got it finished now. This is from Emma Congdon. It is from her book Cross Stitch for the Soul. When it rains, look for rainbows. When it's dark, look for stars. It is stitched on a piece of 16 count color and cotton in the colorway Ozark. That's pretty true to color, that really pretty green. I was actually on the Color and Cotton website pretty much shortly after I finished it, wondering if the color was on their website or at all, and I couldn't find it. So I don't know if it means that it's just not a colorway anymore. I don't know if there's something similar, but I like Color and Cotton fabric. So this is so exciting to have this thing done. I love this. This bottom portion was fun. I'm glad to have it done. Got all those little doodads and all that kind of stuff. So I talked about it last time I showed it. I got stitches off there a little bit, and so it set everything off all the way moving to the right. So I just made sure to work my way left to right, just to make sure that things, you know, I didn't want to get this border in and suddenly that's touching or something. So it worked. Don't look too closely there, you know, things might not line up too much, but honestly, if you're noticing my personalizations, you're looking a little too close. It's fine. I love it though. It is on 4 pages of the pattern though, so like the pattern is across 4 different pages within the booklet, and there is no overlap in like from one page to the next. There's no grade columns of what was overlap, so things were a bit of a pain working from one page to the next, hence why there's personalizations for some. But I'm so excited to have this thing done. I can't wait to find a frame for it because I want it on my wall somewhere. My walls are getting a little full, but we can find space. I mean, I definitely have plenty of space. Alrighty, moving on to the next project. This is from, so Rainbow Hunter might be part of the designer. I think I might have gotten it from Nara X Stitch. I just call it patchwork. So see what I mean about rainbow of colors. Definitely, you know, you've got your rainbow shades. So this is such a fun piece to work on. It sat untouched for quite some time, and I don't really know why, because it is such a gem to stitch on. I love this piece. So I finished this block. Since you would have seen it, I think I had this block started, good bit portion, and then I started on the next block. So like this color and this, or this box and this box are the same color, and it's gonna work diagonally. So that one and that one from here to here is the same color. This is gonna be over here. There's still 1, 2, 3. So I've got 4 more boxes down to go yet. And then 4 and 4. So 4 more boxes that way with 4 more boxes this way. So I did have a bit of a freak out at one point, wondering if I cut my fabric wrong or not. This is stitched on a piece of 18 count, I want to say it's Mystic Gray. What's the one with the orange? Is that Zweigart? Yeah, here's the orange. I know at one point I thought that something wasn't looking right, that maybe I had cut my fabric wrong. No, I just didn't know how to use the fabric calculator properly. I thought when I put the measurements in, I thought that I had just put it in for just the stitched portion, and I didn't have enough fabric. Well, then it dawned on me that I still had the like margin stitches in, so I was looking at the stitch width in inches, including what it was calculated as a margin, so it was like throwing things way off, but it'll be perfectly fine. And if it was wrong, then, well, I'm sure I could crop it down to not include the entire thing. These little boxes have just been so fun to stitch, and they're really good challenge pieces where if I just need 100 stitches, it's easy to pick it up and toss in a bunch. So that is my patchwork. This next piece has not seen the light of day since last year. I pulled this out, where'd my picture go? There it was. For a prompt for that challenge of monochromatic piece, I think. This is Apothecary Shop from Witchy Stitcher. Yes. Apothecary Shop from the Witchy Stitcher. Mine is gonna look absolutely nothing like that except for the sign itself, because I'm stitching it on a really cool piece of fabric. So this is as wide as it'll be. Quite creased, but you get the idea. This is stitched on a piece of 16 count Bestitch Me in It's a Mystery. and it is such a pretty material, blue with those pops of purple throughout. So definitely plenty to add for future projects. But again, because I needed a monochromatic piece, this is all just stitched in black. So literally it was just right around 100 stitches that I finished out the T and started the H for Apothecary. That was really about all that I got for that night. This whole challenge has been good for my lunch break stitching. I've talked about before how I work from home and I can stitch on my lunches and breaks. And so that's really what I've been doing, is stitching between my half-an-hour break, my 1 hour lunch, and then in the evenings actually working on another project. This next piece, the prompt was, so again, these were all prompts that I created of my own. It's not going to match what anybody else was doing. We had to come up with our own stuff. So the one that I thought of was to work on a piece that I had started for my birthday at some point. I've got, I think, 3 still on the go at the moment. So this is, I want to say it's something like Witchy Wisdom from Luthien Art. It's got one of those Etsy titles that's got like all kinds of different words in it, but so when I just write it in my book of what I worked on, I'm just labeling it as Be a Witch. So in a world full of princesses, be a witch. I'm still just in the upper left hand corner. So since you would have seen it last, I just added in some more of the green. I didn't add any more purple this time. So still working in that frame area. 16 count fiber on a whim, I think it is. I know the name Lorelei Gilmore is in the fabric name. It was in a Gilmore Girl themed box. So just a light neutral. So that is my Be a Witch. This video is not going to be very long with as many projects that I have that I'm kind of zipping through this a little bit. There's so much Flosstube out there, though. I'm sure people won't mind. Next project prompt was something with a bird. I've got plenty of bird projects. This is a freebie chart from Boomerang Stitches. It's charted with either Bird Nerd or you can choose Bird Herd. I am doing it, as you see here, Bird Nerd. I don't think I'm going to put the year, though. There's no need for that. I am still just this. You'll see the piece. Bestitch Me, lightly salted, not roasted, or something like that. Not very much is done. In fact, that's what I was starting to show, but I clicked something and figured you just see it on the piece. When I picked it up, I had this whole thing done and like half a line started of this gold. So I finished out the gold in that section and added in a couple colors there. I was working on this last night. For some reason, I don't have all of the thread colors pulled. So I was having to kind of pick and choose what I had handy at the very moment. I think I had stitches curled up beside me and I didn't want her running away by me moving to reach for floss. So we stitched what we could. This piece has been calling me and I just haven't picked it up, so I was so excited when that came up, and as soon as I saw the prompt was something with a bird, I knew I had to get some attention into this, so hopefully I can get back to it and do some more. Alrighty, next project, like I said, I am just busting right along with this. So the next project is Stitch for Pride 2025 from D's 20 Stitches. It is currently not available. He may end up releasing it for sale at some point. I don't know. Keep an eye on his socials to see if and when he ever decides to release it again. So this was for today's prompt, was a Sal piece, so some kind of stitch along. Stitch for Pride, Sal. So I had to pick it up, and I'm working on the April block. Not block, but drop, I guess. I haven't worked on it as much as I should be, so that's what the April black looks like. I say black, but drop. It's actually being stitched so that it's vertical. Actually, it's not even that direction. I can't get this. This portion right here is going to be at the top, though. So we are... The name, I'm trying to make sure that I pronounce it properly. This is stitched in honor of a Zawandib, which is quite interesting because it was an indigenous person. I forget now what year all of this was happening, but there were some people who were trying to locate the like the starting of the Mississippi River, but Zawandib was living in the space that I live now, so in Michigan, so Great Lake area. Like that was kind of the central area of where they were settled at, like living during this time that I was listening to some of the learning. So I just thought that was really cool to get the connection of where I live. And I think one of the tribes that was involved with this in this region is Ojibwe, which I have a local community, like there's a local space. It's referred to as Ojibwe Island. It's not really an island. It's just a local park, I guess, if you will. There's like a concert shell thing that there used to be some pretty big concerts that would come there. I mean, they used to have this really big country fest. So yeah, it's always referred to as Ojibwe Island, but I mean, we're talking not a whole lot bigger than a football field type of space. I mean, it's not a huge space. I did not get the specialty floss that was dyed for this particular project, so I've been trying to pull different flosses that are similar to what was used in Dee's model. So I found a coloring cotton that I thought was quite perfect. This is in Bumblebee. So I thought it looked really similar to... I got very excited when I saw how similar that was. So today, just on my lunch, I stitched. It's a little more than 100 stitches. I'm kind of looking forward to getting further along, so there's going to be some spots that's got some long stitches that looking forward to trying to get that all figured out. 16 count bestitch me in Stonehenge, I do believe. So I've shown it. It was back in May, so it might have been end of May, beginning. Been Flosstube probably early June that I would have shared that I finished March. So I do have January, February, March, and then started on April. And there have been some really cool pieces that have come out since for some of the, drops since. Just realized. That's why. Delivery expecting, and I just got a notification. It's like kind of just popped in my head. Oh yeah. I hadn't seen that delivery yet. Moving on. Lady Halloween from Jardin Privé. I love this design. I don't know why, I just keep picking it up for these little challenges. Get what I need, and then I move on. Because I love the design, and I want to... This is going to start to be one of those other ones of, why is it lingering for so long? 16 count bestitch me in Rainy Day. It's beautiful blue. Little pops of purplish. I don't know exactly how far it's going to go down, but I don't think I will need this full piece. The prompt was a piece with Quakers. So all I did was finish out this whole flower motif here. I don't know if you can see, but like some of these flowers are done in purple. So this piece is charted in 3 different colors, a black and then 2 shades of gray. I am doing it in black with pops of DMC 310, no, it's all 310, with pops of DMC 154, that really deep purple. You can see how those flowers, so anywhere there's going to be a flower, I'm trying to put in those pops of purple. So that's really about all I got on my Lady Halloween. Alright, next piece I'm going to share, it's actually 2 whips on 1 project. Fabric. Bestitch Me Sandstone, maybe? I don't remember. So the first piece is from Witch's Garden Crafts. I do believe this is a freebie that you may have to join one of the Facebook groups. There's like a Facebook group, maybe a business page, one of those. It's a gift chart. It says never give away your power. And I converted this to overdyed flosses. So the prompt was a piece with meaning. So I knew I had this piece, the Palestine piece. Those might be the only 2 that I might have been thinking of when I came up with the idea. But oh, the Keep Your Laws Off My Body. So never give away your power. It was started with the idea of in an election season. So it was election, it was a mid-season election. So it was having to do with, you know, making sure you get out and vote. So piece with meaning. Obviously, I think that, you know, the saying is pretty meaning. You gotta, your power is, you know, using your voice to vote. So I converted this to just fancy like overdyed flosses that I have. So color and cotton. I don't even know what all I have pulled. Forbidden Fiber Co. Things of that nature. So it's not necessarily a 1-for-1 type of thing because it's charted in DMC. There's 3 different oranges charted. I had a color and cotton nectarine, I think it is. That's a pretty variegated orange. Like, I mean, you can tell that's different shades of orange, especially like right in there. So I am doing single stitch at a time to get as maximize the variegation. So that's what I mean by it's not necessarily a 1-for-1, because, you know, I didn't want 3 different shades of orange DMC, so I went with 1 variegated. So things of that nature. So since I worked on it last, I had to pick it up. Actually, it might have been a couple different prompts. Variegated floss. That was what my other prompt was to stitch with a variegated floss. And I had this on my Q-snap still, so that's what I mean by I picked things that where I already had it on the Q-snap. So so I know I added in that flower, and I think I worked on some of this vine down here. So that is 1 project on this fabric. The other one is we're dropping my iPad today apparently. Closely Kept number 3 from Shaded Stitchery, and it is charted as a monochromatic. I am using a variegated. This fabric is gonna look really funky because I used this fabric for a previous project that I have already since cut out, so it looks weird. But yeah, this is being stitched with a Pirate and Robin floss in Bellatrix, I think it is. No, Belladonna. Yeah, it's Belladonna. So it's, yeah, there we go. really, really dark blue, like a 959, right? 939? What's that really? 939? Into like a turquoise, maybe not quite a 996, but some of those other turquoise colors. Had to frog, so I still haven't even restitched. So over here I had done some one day. I was sitting here listening to an audiobook and put it down, came back the next day or another break or something of that nature, and I'm like, why are things not lining up? Do some digging, realized where I went wrong, and this is pretty much a mirror image from one side to the next, so I didn't want to try to have to fudge things or whatever, so we unstitched everything that I had stitched and went back in a different direction. So that is my closely kept number 3. It's a lot of fun. My last project to share. Alrighty. It is still on the Q-snap. We're not going to take it back off, but I'll show you another picture update here. If you know what my focus on a finished project has been, we're still plugging away on it. Words, oh my goodness. Sea Opal, and I'm doing the mini version. Artwork is from Elizabeth Welker, charted by Hayden. And a couple weeks ago, I did get a double page finish. So we're gonna show it off the Q-snap this way. So page, excuse me, page 9 and 10, page so page 5, page 10, 15, 20, like maybe 25, are only like 9 stitches wide. So I stitched them at the same time. So page 9 and 10 were finished over here. I currently, including what I have already stitched since I moved the Q-snap, I'm sitting at 62.7%, something like that. I had a fun milestone just the other night. I got down to, I have 40,000 stitches remaining on the entire piece. Oh, sorry, stitches. So here we go. So fun fact, when I finished pages 9 and 10, those were page finishes 9 and 10 that I have completed this year across all projects. So my stained glass, the Black Cat stained glass piece, this one, seems like there's something else that I counted as. So across all full coverage projects that I've worked on this year, I have finished the pages 9 and 10 of this piece, got my 9th and 10th page finishes for the year. I thought that was fun. We are plugging away, so I still have quite a ways to go to the very bottom. If I counted right, measured right type of thing, I should be able to get to the very bottom of the piece without actually moving the Q-snap, because the bottom page, like the bottom row of pages, are partial. So I gave myself really, really tight margins within the Q-snap in hopes that I can get, so this is going to be page 11, 16, pages 11, 16, I think, and then do like 12 and 17, and so on and so forth. Hoping. We'll see once I keep wanting to work my way down, because I'm not going to count and start stitching down here. I want to work my way down, but I keep just finding, well, let's just work on filling this in. So it's confetti central at the moment, but that's kind of what this entire piece has been. But yeah, that was fun to be able to get down to having 40,000 stitches left to go. 16 count white Aida 2 strands, full cross. And that is all of the stitching that I have worked on in the past 3 weeks, I guess it is. Stitches, you want to come back up here? She's sitting at my feet. She's such a sidekick. Alrighty. The only plans, if you will, still I want to keep working on the Arbitrary August. I've been having fun with it. I guess it would have been in July, another Facebook group. I did a daily I did a challenge that every day could have had something different, so I was really enjoying that. So this has been fun to see what my next prompt is going to be. A little bit of haul. The July fabric of the month, I'm sure everyone has seen it by now. This thing is stunning. So it is called Watermelon Slushy. That color's not even doing it justice. It is red, but beautiful. I sent a picture of it to group chat the other day, and that picture got it to be like really good, true to color, and now I feel like it's just, I guess it's pretty good. I have not decided what I want to put on it yet, but what I do know is that it is gonna call for something with solid black. All I can picture is my mind immediately, as soon as I saw this, went to something Marumi Designs, and I know she stitches a lot with Sulky, so I may have to do something like that. Otherwise I may just, I've got a Kona DMC 310, so I may have to get one of her charts, which I don't think I've stitched anything of hers yet. Why, I don't know. She's got amazing charts out there. Got my eye on a couple, but I haven't bought any yet. So I'm kind of thinking that may have to be what goes on this, at least a portion of it, because I don't think her charts are gonna be big enough, or so big that I would need that big, you know. So it'll be multiple projects can fit on this. Oh, this color is just stunning. So I placed an order with 123 the other day, 123 Stitch. Ada. No, that's DMC Mini. There's the Ada that I bought. I got a yard. It is a yard by 43 inches. No specific plans at this point, but I had to place an order with 123 for floss, and I've been wanting to, the last couple times I've ordered Ada, I found out about getting it off of Amazon. It was a good idea, it was a really good deal, but I just found it was so stiff, and I don't like how stiff that is. So I think I want to go back to getting fabric from 123. And it's definitely feeling a lot softer than what I've gotten from there. So no set plans, but now I'm ready. If I would decide I'm ready to start another full coverage, I've got 11 or 12 on the go. What's another one? So the other day I was putting together a list of DMC floss. I was going to Michael's. They're like 77 cents there now. I don't remember now. Something in the 70-cent range of some sort. Like, man, that just seems a lot. No coupons. But I had a decent amount that I wanted to get. I mean, you can see there's quite a few here. So I priced it out on 123, and they're still at like 61 cents, 66 cents, something. It was gonna be some decent savings. So I went ahead and just ordered that from 123. A handful of floss can't travel alone, so that's when I got the fabric. And then I know there's a couple people who have done flip throughs of this already. I'm still behind on Flosstube that I haven't watched yet, but I plan to. But I ended up getting the Just Cross Stitch Halloween edition. I know somebody, one of my friends, sent me a picture that stitches. There's a project with Black Cat, which, how can you have Halloween without a Black Cat stitch? Because, yeah. I forget now what it was that. There's some really cool stuff in here that caught my eye, but no set particular plans at the moment. Maybe it was that one. That one's really cute. I don't have any specific plans, but definitely want to do something in here. These moths look really cool too. I know there's lots of people who have, other people who have done flip throughs, so I'm not going to do that. The only other thing that I threw in there was a Quickie Quaker from Darlene Darling and Whimsy. I got the Luna Moth. Love these designs. I've got so many of these have released compared to what I have purchased and stitched. We need to get some quirky Quakers going. I've got a 6 or 8 stitched on one piece of material with plans of putting it into a stitch journal at some point. Plans. One of these days. Alrighty. So yeah. But I ended up chattering enough to get to about the same length of video that I seem to have been lately anyways. Reading, I did finish Just for the Summer from Abby Jimenez. Hands down, amazing book. Love the author. Everything that she's written has just been absolutely amazing. That was technically number 3 in a series, but honestly, you really could pick up any of those and not feel like you're missing anything. Anything that like references something that would have happened in a previous book, gives kind of a quick backstory of the history of who that person is or whatever. So technically you wouldn't necessarily have to read, but she's such a good author, might as well pick them up and read them if you enjoy that style of book anyways. Currently I am reading 28 Summers from Ellen Hilderbrand. It takes place on Nantucket. Again, love her books. My friend Crystal and I have talked about how her books are good summer reads because, again, they take place on Nantucket. So kind of a I don't want to say obligatory summer read, but it's kind of, that's the time to read her books, is when it's summer. Of course, she does have a winter series. I think it's called Winter Street series that, again, it's amazing, and it takes place over the winter holiday. Apologies if you were hearing that noise. The main apartment entrance is not on any sort of like soft close thing. It just kind of slams when people walk in and out. I hear Stitches is munching. So that's about all I've got. It is now 6:30. We're gonna try to get this loaded. Hopefully it doesn't take all night long. I know the last couple times I've posted a video, there's been some times that it just dragged on and on. But it is World Cross Stitch Day. So we gotta get some stitches in. I also need to find some dinner. I made some spaghetti the other night, so I'll probably make that left over. We're gonna get to some stitching. I know I got a couple floss tubes. Well, I've always got a running list of floss tubes to watch. So there's that. Always something on the DVR, I'm sure. My common thing that I like to do is record Jeopardy through the week, and then I'll just binge it on Friday nights. It's between seasons at the moment. They've been replaying some of their highlight episodes from this past season, and I just watched it all, so I don't really need to watch replays from 2 months ago. So I don't have that. I have been rewatching CSI on Hulu, like the original CSI from, gosh, was it end of the 90s, beginning of 2000s or something of that nature. It's so funny seeing the technology from shows like that. Flip phones instead of, smartphones and that kind of such. So that's funny. That's just definitely one of those shows that, even though I've already watched it, I could definitely watch over and over again. So we may go back to some of that. Flosstube, who knows. I hope you are staying cool if you are in the northern hemisphere. We've got a heat wave coming in this weekend. It's supposed to be like 92 and 93 this weekend, so we will be enjoying the AC. Yeah, I don't know. Seems like people are talking about kids going back to school soon. I feel like that's just wild that time of year is already coming up. I noticed before the end of July that back to school supplies were already hitting the shelves at my local Meijer's. It wasn't even into August yet and they already had back to school stuff out. I feel like the kids just got out. But then I also feel like every year I say that the school supplies just come out earlier and earlier. So, alright, I'm just rambling now. We're gonna go find some food. We're gonna get to stitching for World Cross Stitch Day. I hope you're doing good. Hope you are getting stitching time in. Hope you stitch what brings you joy, especially today with it being World Cross Stitch Day. So we're gonna get going. Stitch what brings you joy. We'll see you again next time.